Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 45. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report that has more interviews with Steve, the CEO of Yieldnodes. We're going to have a closer look also at the Trillant marketplace, and we have a launch date now for the two exchanges. We're going to have a closer look, obviously, also for the solar farm, which has surprised us this particular week, so with some very good results. And then on top of that, we're going to have a look at our fabulous EA, the profit retriever. The profits are simply just skyrocketing at the moment. It's going very, very well. So let's get started, and why not start with the Yieldnodes as we normally do. Again, we have to remind everybody here that the quarterly profit will only be in at the end of the year, most probably on the 1st of January, and that will be a set 5%, as we heard from Steve now for a couple of times. Now in recent week here, we have seen a couple of interviews that Steve has done with a couple of YouTubers. This one here is with Jonathan, and this was also a fairly long video again, where they are having a closer look and obviously discussing what is to come. Now, one of the things that I get from watching these is obviously nothing is set in stone yet for Yieldnodes Pro and how exactly everything is going to be implemented. But it's very clear that the businesses that are coming in, we are not getting let's say a piece of the pie, but we're getting a part of the profits itself that is being generated by these particular companies. So those are the only things right now we have, but some of the things that we would like to have answered is actually, is this going to be now put in different packages? Is it put in one big package as we are used to with Yieldnodes, where everybody getting the same profits, or will this now be individual packages? Because some people don't want to be involved in solar farming, and other people don't want to be involved in some of the other things that are coming in. These have not been answered as far as I can see yet, but obviously we hope that Steve at one point will answer some of these questions. We know it's still early days, but we will try and inform you the best we can as things progress. Now let's go to the Sapphire coin here, and in this particular week we have seen a bit of positive movement. Overall, we can see that the return on the investment has dropped back down to what it was the week before here. So 57% at the moment per year. And if we have a look at the share of masternoding, it is pretty stable. So about 2% in the last week we have made up. Overall coin development has been in a positive development. So definitely we have gained back around 10%, but we are still in minus 50 at the moment. And that's down to this graph here. As we can see, we have had a bit of a retracement in the last week. So small little positive signs that this might be the bottom. But again, it all depends on how the Yieldnodes team is going to advertise and progress with all the new things that are coming. PNY not doing so well, even though the shared masternoding we have managed to get around 10% this particular week, which is also quite normal. The return on the investment per year is status quo, so exactly the same as last week, nothing new there. But overall coin development, and you will see also why, because of the Bitcoin has dropped quite a bit this week. We are at a new all-time low, so minus 95%, and obviously that's not a good development. It looks like the curve has become flat, and there's obviously not much more coins at the moment or price to go down here. So it looks pretty flat, but obviously small little changes even here makes a big difference at the end of the day. If we have a look at Birake, then also here pretty stable return on the investment per year. It's 117% last week. This week it's 115, so pretty much within 2% margin. On the shared masternoding, we can see that we made 4% up, which is quite nice and quite stable. But overall coin development, we are still in minus, less than last week, but we are still minus 2.5% roughly, so down. So there is plenty of good things hopefully to come when we can see things are moving around. You can see the retracement also here on the graph itself with Birake. So there is positive signs that we could have reached the bottom, and now everybody's looking forward to implementing these projects with Yieldnodes Pro. But obviously, again, it is early days. Now, if we have a look at Bitcoin versus USDT, then last week when we left it, it was moving around sideways in the $21,000 mark. Since then, it's slowly but surely been creeping down. And then a couple of days ago here now, we saw some big movements, first up and then afterwards down. And at the moment, we're in the 16,000s and crawling back up again. But this is the lowest we've been for the last 2 years. So obviously, we'll have to see if this can recover, or this is the first signs of things are going to drop all the way down to maybe 10,000. So definitely something to watch for the next week. Elevate Pass, well, we see a lot of people in the Telegram community keep asking about the profits and if it's coming out. We have mentioned for a long time here now, because we have spoken to the team also. There will be no profits this particular year, so they are trying to recover everything what the CFO has lost here. And obviously, one of the things they really encourage people to do is go in and try and buy and sell also these crypto training packages that will obviously prepare the different people. So for how to invest, how to set up exchanges, so and so and so, and they get more and more complicated as the different courses. You can buy them all in one go, or you can do them individually. Now, there's also news on the Trillant platform. And what we saw here in the last week, this is also things that are happening currently on the app. So if you are in on Trillant, we also tell you that this is the best place to get all your latest information. That TechRate has just finished the audit here, and this is basically for the coin setup. And this seems to have been a positive one, which is obviously quite nice and good to know. This is only a small little clip of the entire contract. If you want to see more of that, you can go to the Telegram app and you can find the document in full. Now, last week we mentioned here also the Trillant website was going to be launched, and this was the video that we made at the time. And in the video you will also see that we had about 24 pages, so that was covering Trillant. This particular week we are already past the 50, so it has doubled in the last week, which is obviously great news. And with 9 companies on each page, we are basically getting very close to the 500 number, and that will of course grow to more than 1,000 in well, most probably before the end of the month. Now, on top of this, we also have the crypto exchange that was revealed. In there you will find the 2 that are going to take your Trillant here, where you can exchange them back into USDT, Bitcoin, or fiat money, whatever it is you want. So if you haven't done it yet, go and have a look there, where everything will be shown to you. And we also show you the links to the individual exchanges. Now, on top of that, we also heard here now that this coming Sunday, there will be an announcement from Birake, the CEO of Trillant, exactly on the starting date for these 2 new exchanges. So obviously we're looking forward to this. One of the things, and that's what it means here again, is that you still have a chance then to go in and buy some of these packages from Trillant at 10 cents before it's going to take over and it's going to be market value. Now, we have done that. So basically some of the profits that we have already received from our first packages, we have then rebought since then. So I believe we are up about 5 packages now. And all of the ones that we are focused on at the moment is the 52 weeks. The difference again between the short term and the long term here is that you have an opportunity which will come roughly every 4 weeks, where you can stake it at a new price. So that means if the coin price goes up from the 10 cents it has now up to 20, basically means that when you get the chance for it, you can stake it. So at 20 cents also means that your income will be basically double per week. But bad part is obviously you're going to be locked in for another 52 weeks. But overall, we really like that. If the coin price goes down, you simply just stay. So there's only an upside to this particular one, and that's what we really like about it. Also, solar farm is moving at the moment, and one of the things that we also mentioned last week here is the solar play pre-sale. And as you can see, there was 9 hours left when we just made this video. That means that at the time of release, it will be too late. Obviously, there will be an opportunity later on here again today or later on. But right now, the pre-sale is going to be over. And we have seen some movements, at least on one of the solar platforms, that seems to have some positive signs of all this. Now, why is this? Well, some of the things that are being promoted here now is the bookmaker-style casino. They're going to start off with the 3 games, Solar Prediction, Solar Sports, and Solar Frenzy. And all of these will obviously also help both Solar Farm version 1 and Solar Farm version 2. So whatever revenue is coming in is going to be split up. So also and drizzle over to the mining platforms as they are basically set up as. Now, if we look at Solar Farm 2, very positive numbers, even though the TVL is down by 5% and the panel owned is in the normal range of about 71, we can see our panel value in the last week has actually gone up to 13%. And we haven't seen those kind of percentages on the Solar Farm 2 in a very long time. Most of the parts has basically been Solar Farm 1 that has been tracking very well. This week it is reverse, and we'll show you in a second. So the exchange rate is also 52%. So the exchange rate is also a bit lower than we are used to. So very good development on the Solar Farm 2. So nice to see double digits. So for the overall panel value. BNB versus USD is basically similar again as we had on Bitcoin. It has been doing quite well the week before, and we actually took some profits in BNB for some of the things we had here. It went all the way up to 360, and again here now it has dropped in a very similar pattern, so to Bitcoin of about 282. So on to Solar Farm version 1, the TVL is also only dropped about 4% this week, so which is very good to see at least. Panels owned is up by 154%, but the panel value on the Solar Farm 1 unfortunately has been a disappointing minus 5%, similar to the daily rewards, which is also down by 5%. And that was a bit of a surprise for us, especially compared to the development of version 2. But we'll have to see when everything comes into play. We hope that all these are going to turn into nice green numbers again. If we have a look at Solar versus BNB, we see a similar pattern. So the orange marker is where we left it last week. And obviously it went quite well. And then it took the same dip as the rest of the crypto coins, led by Bitcoin here. So we are definitely below where we started off last week, and you can see on the volumes below there's quite a lot of sell pressure. No pressure on with AI marketing, so because we don't really get much news back. It is 10 days of November, and still we don't have access to the platform itself. But as we mentioned before, there's a lot of rumors, there's a lot of information that we are getting behind the scenes. One of these are obviously for the setup for the domain itself, for the AI marketing. It's actually been renewed and is now expiring in 2026. And obviously that is very good news if they continue, but we would like a bit more information, which obviously is not really coming out. So week after week, we have seen that they are advertising the 2-week meetings that we have with the team leaders. And time again, they are obviously being cancelled. But there's quite a few things. We have managed to also see people telling us that there's a lot of updates on the site itself. So, and we take that as good news, and hopefully we'll see something or hear something in the next couple of weeks. Now to our pride and joy. So this is the profit retriever, and if you missed it, then definitely you have been asleep. The profit retriever is the best EA we have ever traded, and right now we are trading it on a portfolio of 18 EAs covering everything from metal index and different types of currencies here. They're all doing quite well, even though we had quite a few of drawdowns from some of the robots. They are still producing good numbers, the rest of them. So in here we did a video recently, and this was just released on Tuesday, and this says the 100,000 trading EA. Now the $100,000 was actually started off when we set the first EA to go, which was around the 18th of March this year. And before end of November, we managed to get the portfolio up with a profit of $100,000. Now this went quite quickly, and that's also what we explained in the video. We also explained a couple of things that didn't go so well and why some of the EAs blew. But no matter what, you will see that overall it's profit month after month. And now why is that? Well, the graph itself looks like this, and this is obviously something that every single trader wants to see. This is not just one robot, this is all of them in one go. You can see the history is 237 days old, and monthly return so far has been 13.7%. It is fairly stable. Obviously, you can also see the net profit here since we started, so not much in March, and since then it has gone from strength to strength. We have seen that August was a bit of a dip, so it was a lot of small movements, and very sideways, and the profit retriever simply couldn't pick that up. It needs a bit more of a volatile environment, and that came in September and October. And just October we made $24,000, which is quite astonishing. So and on top of this, you can now see that 10 days in we have made more than 9,000, so we are only 1/3 into the month, and it looks like we could already break the record once again. Now the top 5, as we always use here to just show you which ones made the most in the last week. US 30 index is the clear winner this particular week at 14.6%. The Euro USD, which we are now used to, is always there, comes in at 6.9%. And then we have the silver that is back on. Silver has had a lot of drawdowns, but still came in with 6.5%. US CAT 6.9%. And then on top of that, we also have the New Zealand US dollars 5.8. So not too bad at all. We made $3,989 or 8% if you would have traded only these 5 ones here. Now, if you are interested and you want to have a look and see how this is traded, then as we always mention, because we have a lot of questions on this, please go to our website. You will find 2 different sections. One is the profit retriever trading itself that only talks about the profit retriever. And the other part is the copy link trading for the people that don't really have time to set up all the robots. You don't even have to buy the robot either. All you have to do is go in and set up an MT4 platform and then download a link from Expert4X. And you can sit back, pick out your different signals that you want. So from different suppliers, it doesn't necessarily have to be ours. And then build up your portfolio within there. And everybody else will take care of this for you. All you have to do is try and maintain it and make sure that you get out before your accounts are blown. Now, Expert4X has also sent out 2 videos this week, even though Alex is currently on vacation here. One of the videos is the first one here on how to use the supplies to optimize trading robot settings. And in that, you will find both in the free forum, there is a section of it. There's not that many compared to the premium forum. Premium forum has several hundred, if not thousands now, of you can go in and find more information on it and give you a good help and assistance to how to set up the robots. And this is what this second video here is all about. He has had a closer look at some of the robots that are doing quite high returns and the strategy behind these. And I can reveal that part of this, we are not doing this, and we simply think it's too dangerous. We have played around with it. And this is basically section where it will tell you the profit retriever, what it can and cannot do, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you always should. Even though short term you might get a high percentage, we think there's too big of a chance of blowing your account. But this is definitely a good video for the ones who wants inspiration on what the profit retriever can do and some of the profits they have managed to get out of it. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, not everything is negative. We see light at the end of the tunnel for many of the projects that we have. But obviously, it will all also depend a bit on what is happening with Bitcoin at the moment. If it continues to go down, then we might see even more things happening in the environments around us. So we hope that we can keep a close eye on it and give you new and better information next week. So hope to see you then. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.